college girl gets drunk and wakes up with a cult tattoo on her chest during a weekend getaway with friends. The weekend started like any other adventure. Madison leaned her head against the car window as the tall pine trees blurred past. The road trip playlist was blasting from Emma's phone, and everyone was singing off-key, laughing between bites of gas station snacks. They had been friends since childhood: Madison, Emma, Tyler, and Chloe. A bond that felt unbreakable, even though Madison knew something had changed in college. She wasn't blind. She knew they had joined that group, the one people whispered about on campus. A cult, some called it. But Madison didn't care. She told herself, "They're still my friends. I don't have to be a part of it to hang out." The cabin sat deep in the woods, away from the world. When they arrived, the golden sunset spilled across the lake. Madison breathed in the pine air and smiled. "This place is perfect," she whispered. "Wait till you see the fire tonight," Tyler grinned, carrying a cooler inside. The evening was full of laughter, music, and drinks. Madison let herself relax, even when Chloe brought out strange candles and set them in a circle on the porch. "It's just vibes," Chloe laughed, brushing off Madison's raised eyebrow. "Yeah, chill out, Mads," Emma added, pressing another drink into her hand. The last thing Madison remembered was the sound of their voices blurring together, her eyelids heavy, the world tilting. She woke up with a pounding headache. The cabin was silent, too silent, and her mouth tasted like metal. When she sat up, her breath caught in her throat. There, just below her collarbone, a black tattoo marked her skin. A sharp, strange symbol, drawn like something ancient and sacred. Her fingers trembled as she touched it. What the hell? Flashes came back. Shadows, whispers, Tyler's voice saying something she couldn't understand. But no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't remember. The door creaked. Emma stepped inside, holding a cup of water, her eyes too calm. "You're awake," Emma said softly. Madison's voice cracked. "What did you guys do to me?" Emma set the cup down, avoiding her eyes. "You'll understand soon." "No," Madison snapped, standing on shaky legs. Her chest burned where the tattoo sat, as if it was alive. "I didn't agree to this. I don't want this." Chloe appeared behind Emma, her expression unreadable. "You don't have to fight it, Madison. You're one of us now." Panic surged in her chest. Madison backed toward the window, her heart racing. The friends she thought she knew, laughing in the car, singing songs, sharing secrets, looked like strangers now. "I have to get out of here," she thought, "before it's too late." Madison's pulse hammered as she stumbled backward, her bare feet brushing against the cold wooden floor. The shadows in the cabin seemed to stretch toward her, as if the whole place was alive and watching. "Stay away from me," she whispered, her voice breaking. Emma took a slow step forward, her tone calm, almost gentle. "Mads, you don't understand yet. The mark chose you. We didn't force anything. Chose me." Madison spat the words out, her voice rising. "I didn't choose this. I didn't choose any of this." Tyler appeared in the doorway, blocking the exit. His face, once full of boyish humor, was stone. "You wouldn't have made it through the night if it wasn't meant for you." Madison's throat tightened. The air felt heavy, thick with the smell of burnt wax and something else, something metallic. She glanced at the window. For one terrifying second, she imagined throwing herself through the glass just to get away. Her mind screamed, "Run!" "Look, we're still your friends," Chloe said softly, but her smile didn't reach her eyes. "This isn't something bad. It's freedom. It's belonging." "No," Madison shook her head, tears burning in her eyes. "You sound insane. All of you. You're not the people I grew up with. You're not the kids Her voice broke. "You're strangers." Emma's expression flickered, like she was hurt by the words, but she didn't move. Tyler's voice dropped, deep and commanding. "You can't walk away now. The symbol is binding. You're already one of us, whether you accept it or not." Madison's chest tightened as the mark seemed to throb, like it was pulsing with her heartbeat. She clutched at it, shuddering. "No, I'll never be one of you." Without another word, she darted toward the back hallway, shoving past Chloe's arm. Her bare feet slapped against the wood as she searched for a way out, the sound of her friend's footsteps following close behind. She yanked open a door and stumbled into a room. It was small, lit only by moonlight slipping through cracked curtains. And then she froze. On the floor were dozens of carved symbols, burned into the wood in a perfect circle. In the center sat a candle, still burning. Around it, there were photos, her photos. Childhood birthday parties, high school dances, even one from just last month. Every image had been carefully placed inside the circle. Her stomach twisted. "Oh my God," she whispered. Behind her, Emma's voice came softly, almost like a lullaby. "You were chosen long before tonight, Madison. This was always where you belonged." Madison turned, her back pressed against the wall, her chest heaving as the shadows of her so-called friends filled the doorway. "I have to get out. I have to." But the cabin felt like it was closing in, the forest outside darker than she had ever seen. Madison's breath came in shallow gasps as she pressed herself against the wall. Her friends, no, not her friends anymore, stood in the doorway, their shadows spilling across the symbols carved into the floor. Her hands curled into fists. "If I don't move now, I'll never get out." Before Emma could step closer, Madison lunged for the window. She grabbed the edge of the curtain, yanked it aside, and slammed her shoulder against the glass. The pane cracked but didn't shatter. "Madison, stop!" Chloe cried, rushing forward. Madison screamed and drove her elbow into the glass again. This time, it shattered with a sharp crack, cold night air rushing inside. Without thinking, she climbed through, the jagged edges cutting into her skin. Pain seared her arm, but adrenaline pushed her forward. "Madison!" Emma's voice was desperate now, but Madison didn't look back. She tumbled onto the dirt outside, the earth damp and cold beneath her bare feet. For a moment, the forest looked endless, dark pines reaching up like black towers. The moon lit a thin path between them, silver and ghostly. Her heart pounded. Run. Just run. She sprinted into the trees, branches whipping against her arms and face. The sound of footsteps echoed behind her, too many footsteps. Tyler's voice boomed through the woods. "You can't run from this. It's inside you now." Tears blurred her vision as she forced herself deeper into the forest, her lungs burning with each gasp. She didn't know where she was going, only that she had to get as far away as possible. Then she heard it, whispers. Not from her friends, but from somewhere else. Low, rhythmic, almost carried by the wind itself. The sound made her stomach twist. She stumbled into a small clearing, moonlight washing over the ground. In the dirt was another symbol, enormous, carved into the earth itself. It matched the one on her chest. Madison froze, clutching at the mark as it throbbed in sync with the whispers. No, this isn't real," she whispered to herself, her voice trembling. A branch snapped behind her. She spun around, her breath caught in her throat. Emma stood at the edge of the clearing, her face pale, her eyes wide, not cruel but pleading. "Madison, please. Stop fighting. The more you resist, the worse it gets." Madison shook her head violently, stepping back. "Stay away from me." But then Tyler emerged from the shadows on the other side, blocking her escape. And Madison realized, with ice in her veins, that she wasn't just running from her friends anymore. The woods themselves were closing in. Madison's scream tore through the clearing, echoing into the night. She clutched at her chest, digging her nails into the skin around the burning mark. But the voice didn't stop. It pulsed through her veins, steady and calm, as if it had always been there. Emma flinched at the sound, but her face quickly softened. "Mads, don't fight it. Please. The more you resist, the louder it gets." "Shut up." Madison's voice cracked. She stumbled to her feet, dirt sticking to her knees, her whole body trembling. "You don't know what's happening inside me. You don't hear it." Tyler's expression was cold, unblinking. "Of course we hear it. That's how it begins." Madison's stomach twisted. No, this isn't real. This isn't happening." The mark flared again, brighter this time. For a split second, she saw something, not in front of her, but behind her eyes. A dark figure, faceless, watching. Her breath hitched, her body frozen as if her bones were made of stone. She collapsed against a tree, her nails scratching at the bark. "I can't stay here. I can't let them keep me." With a surge of desperation, Madison forced her legs to move, darting deeper into the forest. Branches whipped her face, her chest burned, but she didn't stop. Every step felt like wading through heavy water, the mark pulling at her like an anchor. Behind her, she heard Emma shouting, "Don't go too far, Mads. It'll only get worse." "Let her run," Tyler's voice replied, steady, almost smug. "The forest will bring her back." Madison's heart thudded harder. She ran until her lungs screamed, until her vision blurred. Then, suddenly, she stumbled out of the thick woods and onto a narrow dirt road. Her breath caught. A road. Oh my God, a way out! She sprinted down the path, her bare feet scraping against the gravel. And then, in the distance, headlights cut through the darkness. A car. A real car. Madison waved her arms wildly, tears streaming down her face. Help! Please stop, she screamed, her voice breaking. The vehicle slowed. Relief flooded her chest so hard she almost collapsed. But as it pulled closer, her relief curdled into dread. It wasn't just a car, it was their car. The same one they had driven up in earlier that day. The window rolled down and Chloe leaned out, her eyes shining strangely in the beam of the headlights. Madison, she called softly, her voice too calm, too rehearsed. You can't leave. You belong with us. The car door opened. Madison staggered backward, her body shaking. The road behind her was empty. The forest pressed close on both sides. There was nowhere left to run. The mark burned hotter than ever, whispering again from inside her chest. Come back to us. Madison clapped her hands over her ears and screamed into the night. The headlights blinded Madison as Chloe stepped out of the car, her footsteps soft against the gravel. Don't fight it, Mads, Chloe said gently, like she was coaxing a frightened child. The mark isn't your enemy. It's who you are now. Stay away from me. Madison's voice cracked. Her body shook as she stumbled backward, her hands pressing hard against the burning symbol on her chest. The air shifted. The night grew heavy, pressing down on her lungs. The forest on both sides of the road seemed to lean closer, branches groaning like old bones. The whispers returned louder now, wrapping around her head like vines. With us, forever with us. Madison screamed and dropped to her knees, clawing at the dirt. She could feel the symbol under her skin moving, no longer a tattoo, but something alive. It twisted like it wanted to spread, lines crawling toward her shoulder, her neck. No, get it out. Get it out of me, she sobbed, pounding her fists against her chest. The car engine hummed softly, steady, patient. Emma and Tyler appeared from the trees, stepping into the road with unnerving calm. They didn't run, didn't rush. They simply walked toward her, as if they knew she had nowhere to go. Emma crouched a few feet away, her voice trembling but kind. You're fighting the wrong battle, Madison. The pain isn't from the mark, it's from resisting. Just let it in. Please. Madison's face twisted in agony, tears streaking her cheeks. I'm not one of you. I'll never be one of you. The mark flared white hot. For a split second, Madison's vision tore open. She wasn't on the road anymore. She was standing in a vast, endless dark field. 1,000 faceless figures surrounded her, their bodies bent in worship towards something in the distance. A towering shape loomed at the horizon, shifting and unnatural, its presence pressing into her skull. And then it spoke, not aloud, but inside her, heavy and absolute. You are already mine. Madison collapsed to the ground, gasping, her nails digging into the gravel until blood smeared her fingertips. The vision vanished, and she was back on the road, but the heat in her chest had spread, crawling like fire through her veins. Her friends stood over her now, their faces glowing faintly in the headlights, watching as if they were witnesses to a ceremony. Tyler whispered reverently, "It's beginning." Madison's scream shattered the silence of the forest. Madison's scream ripped through the forest, echoing into the night. She clawed at her chest as the mark spread like wildfire across her skin, its black lines branching out like roots. Her body convulsed, fighting the force tearing through her. "No, I won't let you take me," she cried, her voice hoarse. But the voice inside her was louder now, impossibly loud, shaking her from the inside out. "You were chosen before you were born. You were never free." Emma knelt beside her, tears in her eyes. "Mads, please. Stop fighting. It hurts more when you fight." "I'd rather die." Madison spat, her whole body trembling. The ground beneath her pulsed with the glowing symbols, the forest swaying as if bowing to something unseen. The headlights of the car flickered, then went out, plunging the road into darkness. For a moment, Madison felt herself slipping away, sinking into that endless black field she had glimpsed before. The faceless figures reached for her, chanting her name, their voices merging with the whispers in her head. She gathered the last of her strength and screamed, pouring every ounce of rage, terror, and defiance into her voice. "I am not yours." The mark burned white-hot, then exploded outward in a blinding flash. The shock wave knocked Emma, Tyler, and Chloe back against the car. The forest shook violently, trees groaning, as branches snapped. When the light faded, Madison lay still on the road, her chest heaving. The mark was gone. Her skin was bare again, though charred lines etched the ground where she had been lying. Emma crawled forward, her face streaked with dirt and tears. "No, this isn't possible." Madison pushed herself up on trembling arms, her voice raw but steady. "I don't care what it takes. I'll never belong to you." The forest was silent now, the whispers gone. But the air felt heavy, unfinished, as if something enormous had only been delayed, not defeated. Madison staggered to her feet, her legs weak but determined. Without another word, she turned and walked down the road, into the night, leaving the cabin, the cult, and her former friends behind. Tyler's voice broke the silence, low and grim. "She thinks she's free." Emma looked at the scorched earth where Madison had lain, her expression hollow. No one walks away from the order. Not forever. The forest seemed to sigh, its branches shifting like watchful eyes as Madison disappeared into the dark.